What is up, my friends? Now, I've been really excited to make this video. It's a video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. 5 of my favorite boxing games are from over the years since I was a kid. I've always been a big fan of boxing, and in the 80s and 90s, it was really popular with during that era, especially the heavyweight boxing. Some really good fighters that came out of that era, and then even before that, there's some really great ones over the years. But boxing over like the last 20 years or so is kind of like taking a back seat to UFC. So I don't know. I prefer. I find, in my opinion, I find boxing to be more strategic and more entertaining to watch. Watching 2 heavyweights go at it, in my opinion, is more exciting than seeing a bunch of these guys like wrestling around, trying to choke each other on the floor. That's just my opinion. So, without further ado, let's get this list started. 5 of my favorite games of all time. So we're just going to kick this list off right now with my 5th game, and that is Evander Holyfield Boxing for the Sega Genesis. Now, Sega, it was really, quick to hop on and jump on the boxing bandwagon after all the success of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So when Mike Tyson went down, when he was defeated by Buster Douglas, they jumped on an opportunity to, to license him and put out, a video game under his name. And Buster Douglas turned out to be a joke, and so did this friggin' video game. Total piece of garbage. Buster Douglas just caught Tyson at the right time and got lucky. And but this game is just a total piece of shit. I was a sucker for this game. I bought it full price when it came out because I was just like, I saw the graphics and it looked really spectacular. There's nothing like that at the time. And I get it, and it's just, you get like 6 generic boxes all with the same form. It's just like 2, 4 or 5 punches. It's just ridiculous. So garbage. Nothing. No career mode. No nothing. But not Evander Holyfield Boxing, man. This game was the first boxing game that I ever played that had a career mode where you can train your boxer from scratch. You start at the bottom of the rankings and you work your way up until you eventually fight Holyfield for the #1 rank. But working your way up through the ranks, it's really cool. You'll see, you start off fighting in bars and clubs. You'll see in the stands, not too many people watching you, and then as you move up the ranks, you fill up a whole arena. And the boxing, and the graphics were great for its time, and I still have a lot of fun playing this game. I definitely revisited it over the years. Creating your boxer from scratch and then training them, and then you can go after Holyfield himself. They had blood. This game featured blood back then, which was like a novelty. But yeah, fighting as Holyfield or going up against Holyfield with you created boxers was an exciting time. So the number 5th spot, I have to recommend Evander Holyfield Boxing. Now the number 4th spot, this is a game that came out 20-something years ago. It can be found on the PS1, Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, and Nintendo Color. And that is called Ready to Rumble! Now this game featured like arcade-style boxing with unlockable fighters that you would unlock as you play your championship mode. A lot of fun. And it's also a strategic boxing game. As you land punches, you'll build up your rumble meter, and then once that builds up, you can strategically use it to give you like a unlimited stamina and extra punch power. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the boxing strategy depending on who you're fighting. And as you fight through the boxes, in between fights, you'll be able to train your boxer with interactive mini games, which was really cool for its time. All kinds of training, techniques to strengthen your stamina, your chin, your power, speed, all that good stuff. This game was funny. The characters were entertaining, colorful, and creative, and it's just a great game. And I have it for my the very first time I played this game, I originally owned it on the Nintendo 64, which I don't have that cartridge anymore. But I reacquired it on the PS1, and on the Sega Dreamcast, it looks pristine. Highly recommend this one if you haven't tried it out. So much fun, and it's also, couch co-op is even more exciting. Now, the third spot is going to go to Black and Bruised on the PS2.
Welcome to Black and Bruised.
This was a great friggin' boxing game. Now, this game took elements from Super Mario Kart, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you know, a little bit of Ready to Rumble. This game has a little bit of everything in it. You know, you'll have these really creative power-ups that you'll randomly acquire throughout the matches, and you know, using them at the right time, it makes all the difference. You know, and it's even more deeper than just the Rumble feature on Ready to Rumble. You know, there's multiple different power-ups that you can randomly get, and if you hold on, the longer you hold on to them, those power-ups will charge up to like 3 stars, and then once you unleash a 3-star power-up, man, it's lights out. It's almost like an instant knockout. You'll have to memorize. You know, you'll have not only will you'll have to learn how to defend against your opponent's combos, but you know, you're gonna have to learn some combos yourself to keep you going. And what's really cool about this game is the boxer's life. Each boxer has a story mode campaign with hilarious cutscenes. This game has a lot of humor, a lot of character, excellent characters, and the game has really held up over the years. I mean, the graphics are beautiful. If this was released brand new as a digital download on the PS4, you would think it was brand new. Excellent game, highly recommend it. And that takes the 3rd spot on my list, Black and Bruised. Now the number 2nd spot is going to go to Fight Night on the PS3. Fight Night Round 4. This is the most realistic boxing game I've ever played in my life. It's such a pristine game. This game is licensed with, you know, dozens and dozens of fighters throughout all the classes. All the greats that you have known over the years, they're probably in this game. Especially all the heavyweights that you'll know. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, you know, an older George Foreman, the young George Foreman, Joe Frazier. I mean, the list goes on. And these are really friggin'. This is a really great game. The graphics are beautiful. They still hold up really well. But, the bread and butter of this game is its career mode. The career mode is so in-depth. You know, you'll create a character from scratch. You can even use the PS3 camera and take a picture of yourself, and they'll make like a computer-generated version of yourself. You know, and then you'll train. And the training, you can set it for automatic, or you can manually do the mini games. You know, in between fights, which if you can master those mini games, you'll end up getting more, you know, attributes than doing it auto, you know, using the auto feature. And as you work your way down the ranks, you know, you build up your boxer, and then, you know, once you finish out a career, you can save the boxer, and then use that boxer to fight against all the, you know, the great heavyweights of the past, or, you know, whatever division you want to build a boxer for. And, you know, if you didn't get a chance to beat Mike Tyson as a kid, now's your chance. You can replay, you know, that fantasy. Build your own boxer and go up against Tyson, and, you know, he's tough like he was in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But you got the antidote.
The question
Go down.
is, can he rise up again? By way of knockouts, your winner, Golden.
Now the number 1 spot on my list has to go to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You know, shocker, right? Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was, you know, just a phenomenon for me when I was a kid. Like I said, I always loved fighting games, and this was like something, you know, different than any other boxing game at for its time. It was always like this unique boxing game, yet it was almost like a puzzler. You know, it's hard to actually classify it as just a pure boxing game, because it's really not. It's, you know, it's like this action adventure in the ring, you know, trying to figure out each boxer as you advance. You know, it's a test of your determination, you know, to see how far you can go. It's just a fantastic game. Whether it's, you know, you're playing the NES version of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or the 16-bit version, you know, this is Punch-Out that came out, you know, about 7-8 years later. You can find that for the Nintendo Switch if you're interested on the download. Or, you know, the most refined version of them all is the Nintendo Wii version. It's just fantastic. It takes all the good qualities of the previous 2 games and just gives you this fantastic package, you know. Punch-Out on the Nintendo Wii more than exceeded my expectations. It has a ton of replay value, you know. That more so than the other two had. You know, unless you're like a super fan of it, then you know you don't matter. You just go back and play. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I'm looking forward to my next video. I'm going to be doing my Dreamcast collection video. Man, I got a story to go behind that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making that one. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Wherever you guys are, take care everyone. Peace!